Okay, hi. Here we go. Thanks for being patient with me, folks. I'm a little under the weather. I can't smell anything. I'm pretty sure it's just a head cold, but at the same time, I wouldn't know. Samhain happened, aka, as the layperson would say, Halloween, and I ended up having wine and taking offering and honoring the past on loved ones from the year, which was a important experience for me personally, especially this year. Then I didn't really realize that as I was partaking in the festivities by myself, that I was coming down with a rather nasty cold. So got my tissue in case I need to sneeze, in case I need to blow my nose, any of those wonderful things, but I am shut in the house. It's also snowed again. If you can't see over my window or hear the plows working outside. They're really on top of it here in Calgary, whereas at home you'd be snowed in for days on end. Let's get started for you. Everything you need to know is in the description box of the video. I do not do personal readings. I do not reach out to people asking for money. That's not the way it works over here in AD Tarology. If you want to subscribe and all those wonderful things, please do so. Always helps, always helps. Let's see who we're doing next. All we've done is Scorpio and Aries, so we really have to get rolling on this for November. This is your general read. Oh, you own my heart, Libra. You own my heart. You really do. Let's go. Let's do it. Okay. And we're using the Joie de Vivre deck for you. I'm only rotating 3 decks and I'm clarifying with 3 different decks. You're getting Deviant Moon for your clarifying deck. So let's get started with it, shall we? Let's not continue bullshitting. 222 to Fade Out by Radiohead was playing. Of course, I have to hurry up because I have to go back to work. I have an overnight team. If people didn't know, I run the overnight team in my department as well as a daytime team in my department. Hence the dark circles. Do you see? Do you see? So let's get started for you. We're going to do past, present, future for your general read for November. By the way, happy belated birthday. I know I was moving, and so I wasn't able to give you your general or your love read for September. And for your birthday, I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. I had things of my own to do. I'm sorry about that. Fade Out. The Radiohead. Oh, Libra. The fairest of the cardinal signs. Mirror, mirror. I just keep on hearing that mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Oh, it's you. It really is you. To a fault. I'm hearing to a fault on this side. If you didn't know already, Libra, on this side over here are my people who have passed on, and on this side over here are the people who are my guides. Those are my guides over here. And I do have ringing ears, and I can't discern whether or not it's because I'm sick or if it's because I'm actually getting messages right now. So I'm just gonna roll with it. Does that sound good to you? Also, if you couldn't tell, I live in a new place now. That's right, I do. I live in Calgary now. Calgary, Alberta. Yeah. Because of my parents, because of my mom. So, that's what I'm doing. I have a little buffer zone of like 3.5 hours drive over wasteland. But, yeah. Let's go ahead and let's get started. Twist for fairness for you. Nice, even energy. I see that world card in the reversed unfinished business. It's on the bottom of the deck. Past energy for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Please do check out your Rising, Moon, and Venus sign for additional messages. You can find that by running your natal chart. All right. What is our past energy? Rolling into November for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay, we have the Four of Wands in the reverse. Shaken foundations. You're feeling like your home situation is unbalanced right now. It might have been something that you tried to begin to try and lay a firm foundation that is not where it needs to be. Isn't where it needs to be. Something that wasn't what you thought. It didn't pan out like you thought it would. You expected more. You expected more. You expected more out of it. You had high expectations for it. And now you're on shaky ground. In the past, you were on shaky ground. The foundation wasn't laid appropriately. We have a flipper here. That is a flipper. Yeah. Ace of Wands, somebody coming in passionately with fire energy. Aries, Leo's Sag energy, but a passionate new idea. The matchstick of the divine, I like to call it. Usually this can be an idea, inspiration, the spark of the divine, something creative, the beginning of a creative endeavor in the recent past, or it can be somebody coming in with some really impulsive, quick-moving, passionate energy towards you. I see that I have runtime of 46 minutes and 22 seconds, and I got to get rid of some stuff on here. That's not good. Give me 2 seconds so I can clear some space for you, Libra. Oh, see, you know why I didn't erase Aries' reading? That was why. They were taking up all of your space. We're not taking that many. That's way too many. But looks like there was a divine creative spark in the recent past. Came about, could have been in Aries, Leo, or Sagittarian energy. I'm getting Aries here. The reason I'm getting Aries is because that was the video that I needed to erase in order to make room for you. Could be that there was an Aries who was impeding on your territory. Could be that they were somebody with Aries in their chart was inspiring to you or bringing in some type of energy for you. In the recent past, it was inspiring. Ended up creating a sense of impulsive, quick-moving, creative energy that really, really made you feel quick to move and jump towards something. Next, we have the Hierophant. This can often be considered or misconstrued as a marriage card. But it's also about evaluation of your philosophical beliefs, as well as predisposition to the constructs and confines of religious philosophy, our belief systems and how they govern us or restrict us. I feel that here there was something that stopped you that had to do with this inspirational energy in the recent past, that had to do with philosophical belief or religious belief. Could be that you felt very strongly inspired to move towards a heavy commitment with somebody, or inspired to move towards a religious or philosophical belief system as a result of inspiration that was brought in, a beginning of that here. I'm also getting something during Aries Taurus cusp season, so somewhere in the neighborhood of an April 17th to April 20th time frame. After firm foundations were shook for you, where all of a sudden your belief system was kind of questioned, or you had something affirmed for you as far as your belief system went, and it was rather ethereal, rather odd, might have been awe-inspiring. I'm hearing over here, awe-inspiring, and fade out again, and fade out again. and fade out again. Sorry, I have new chairs, I have a new table and everything. And guess what? These ones have leather on them too. Justice, this is you. This is also balance, equilibrium, the ability to come home to your own sense of balance in the past. There is a coming home to a sense of balance, truth, fairness, taking things into account. It seems that there's a summing up of all the past and the present in order to really temper and balance things that came out of this. Libra, in the past. You balanced yourself out. You held yourself to account. There were truths and secrets that came to light with Piscean energy here. As a result, you came to grips with the truth. And in this truth, secrets that were kept hidden, your deep inner knowing surfaced. It surfaced for you. As a result, you'll have to put name to it. It's not something that I can name for you. The High Priestess is not something that any tarot reader can name for you. It's something you have to name for yourself. You know, shrouded in the veil, if we have it in the upright, this is usually secrets, hidden truths, deep inner knowing that is shrouded in secrecy. But here we have it surfacing. We have things coming to light that were normally hidden in darkness, and as a result of coming home to your own truth after this awakening of a spark of inspiration and illumination of a philosophy or a belief system for you, you've balanced things out for yourself, come home to your own truth, fairness, and justice. You have found a deep inner knowing that you believe to be true. Do you believe it to be true? I'm actually hearing that. The song is Wake Up by Said the Whale. And at the end of the song, they say, do you know this to be true? Do you believe this to be true? They actually say that. It's like a little outro. It's like a little soundbite. And they say, do you believe this to be true? It's, it has to do with your Empress. It has to do with you. It has to do with your inner truth. It could also have to do with a Taurus. But again, I keep on coming back to Taurus season for you because this is about creative energy. It has to do with earthbound energy. It has to do with the Earth Mother. It has to do with Ostera. If you look, this card, this is Ostera. There's something here where you just keep going back to the season, keep on reevaluating this season of spring, where things are being born of the earth, where inspiration is being created, where inspiration, I want to say created, where inspiration is being created, excuse me, but I believe it's actually more along the lines of the birth, that spark of creativity, but it is of the divine. A Taurus Libra, it's of the divine. There's Earth Mother energy here. This is somebody who creates. This is somebody who is attuned to the earth cycles. Somebody who recognizes beauty in its most earthbound form, Mother Nature. Somebody who's connected with the earth. Somebody who cultivates. This might be where you've recognized a need to become more connected with the earth as well. That might be a part of your deep inner knowing, is that you're not as earthbound as you need to be. Being an air sign, you can often find yourself stuck in the clouds. And so it can be a signifier of you needing to come back down to earth. But I feel this is of time I'm ruled by time. I'm a Capricorn, and so I'm ruled by time. So often I will link things to time. In between Pisces and Taurus is Aries season. But I see this more as Taurus season. The time of germination. Into realizing your need to get grounded and centered and connected with all that is fertile, all that is of a creation. Not necessarily artistic creation, maybe artistic creation, but just getting your hands dirty in the earth and really working to become grounded and centered. In the present for you, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. There's something regal about this. There's an energy here that is present at this moment that's very regal. Royal, almost. Somebody who realizes that they are a king or a queen, that realizes their true worthiness. And that they are indeed themselves of the divine. During the present, for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I still haven't figured out what nature of the reading this is. Nature. Sorry. There's too many cards here. I'm just going to take a minute. I myself have become obsessed with lemon. There's 4 here. I won't take them. There's 4 here. I won't take them. I should take the top 2. 5 of coins in the reverse and the 7 of wands in the reverse. Letting your guard down, dropping defensive energy, feeling unprotected. You feel that you may not be as protected as you once were from conflict, yet the need to let your guard down is ever present it's ever present in the present, I was going to say. That actually is the truth. In the present, you recognize that you need to drop your guard when it comes to something. There's defensive about something. But you also realize that having your guard up has left you feeling out in the cold, and so you recognize the necessity to do so. As is 5 of coins in the reverse, that you have divine right to all of the riches that the universe has to offer, as well as all the love that the world has to offer. But you have to let your guard down. You've more than likely had your guard up for so long, been protecting yourself and putting yourself on a pedestal, unreachable by others for so long, that you've left yourself out in the cold. It's almost as if it's like an 8 of Swords energy, a self-imposed prison rather than, so you're coming out of that. That's why you have that shaken foundation with the 4 of wands in the past. Because you placed yourself so high above everybody else through no fault of your own, but you've actually placed yourself. Do you see this here? You placed yourself above others to the point where nobody could touch you. But the fact of the matter is nobody could touch you. Nobody could touch you. And because nobody could touch you, you could not lay firm foundations as you would normally see as implicit with the 4 of wands. The 4 of wands normally is about the marriage bed. It's about the 4 posts of a home, a happy home life. You know what I mean? And when you cannot build upon anything because there is no firm foundation, it's typically because we placed ourselves on such a pedestal that nothing can reach us. We're unreachable, right? And it's resulted in you needing to come in from the cold, volunteer yourself to come in from the cold, because nobody's going to invite you to come in from the cold because you're unreachable. You're unreachable, you're untouchable. And the spark of the divine has actually inspired you to invite yourself to the table. You're inviting yourself to the table. Do you see? Bringing yourself in from the cold as a necessity of self-preservation, I'm hearing over here. The Ace of Wands, it's like this individual or this idea of some sort, this, like I always call the Ace of Swords, matchstick of the divine. And the reason I do is because it is from the universe. It really is. It's a new beginning. It's a new creative beginning. But nonetheless, it's also about you having this idea that you absolutely are. It's a rightful. It's something you are always. You're always deserving of. You didn't need to justify your right to come in from the cold. You always were deserving of it. And it took an inspiration or somebody coming in passionately for you to realize that. Because you were so unreachable. It took something bold, something emboldened, something impassioned with that Ace of Wands, something almost audacious to come in and dare to, fly in your face, to say, don't you see, you are deserving of something far better than shrouding yourself in this. Whoa, you don't want to talk about it. Shrouding yourself in this. We're turning it on its head in the present. You're defying something, and you're bravely defying something where you would normally keep yourself out of reach and keep yourself out in the cold. As a result, King of Coins in the reverse, Taurus energy in the reverse. Okay, so you're not necessarily, this is out of your comfort zone. Totally out of your comfort zone. Taurus energy in the reverse. I read King of Pentacles or Coins. I read that as in the reverse. I read that as Taurus energy. But this is stability. You're not feeling stable. So it's interesting. We have the Hierophant above that, and that's Taurus energy. Then we have Taurus here again. 2 Taurus cards. So it's like you don't feel comfortable and you don't feel stable in this thought process, but you're going with it. You're flying in the face of you're going against your instinct. You're going against your instinct and you're feeling unstable, but you're moving towards something that has to do with self-love. I can hear there's self-love that you haven't really explored much of. You've professed this to others, though, with that Hierophant above. You've professed to others self-love ad nauseum. Ad nauseum, you have professed self-love to others, yet you yourself are out of your comfort zone, actually expressing love to yourself, actually inviting yourself out of the cold and saying, yes, I do. I deserve to be reachable as well. I deserve to love myself, and therefore I deserve to be loved unconditionally. It took that audacious spark of the divine, or that passionate movement and charging forward towards you, or the beginning of a creative idea to fly in your face and in the face of everything that you ever were comfortable believing in, to take you outside of what you normally would know or be okay pursuing, for you to be all right with that. You may not necessarily feel stable in your home situation right now as well, with that King of Coins in the reverse. Because normally the King of Coins, or aka Pentacles, sorry, my ears hurt right now. The King of, I think it's like a cold thing. The King of Coins, aka the King of Pentacles in the reverse, can also mean instability in your home situation, which you're carrying through anyways from the Four of Wands in the past. Still feeling unstable. Still feeling unstable in your home situation. Not feeling that you have a home, or feeling there's something in your home life that is missing, that keeps it unstable. So turning inward for self-love in order to feel that it's all right. Because there was lack of union. There's lack of union happening right now in the present. You're not meeting up with somebody that you want to, or you're not seeing eye to eye with somebody that you wish to. Because of because you had to balance something out in the past. You weren't ready. You had to balance something out in the past that had to do with your philosophies, your traditionalist beliefs. You realized something that had to do with deep inner knowing. And because of that, you could not, in the present, come together in a union of the two. You're exercising self-love right now. And so because you're exercising self-love right now and trying to regain stability in your home situation, you don't feel it's the right time to move into union with anybody else. You're actually deciding to forego that. What else? I'm hearing come together. Come together right now over me. I don't normally hear Beatles songs. That's interesting. That's really weird, actually. I don't normally hear Beatles songs. There's a dog too, a little dog. I'm hearing a little dog. In the building, I'm hearing a little dog right now. Oh, somebody believes it's witchcraft. Somebody believes it's witchcraft. Somebody doesn't believe it's real. And your little dog too. That's what they're saying. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. It's ruby slippers. There's no place like home. I've got my glass. I have like 3 tiny little, almost not even like, you know, they're impalpable, the ice cubes in here right now, yet they're cracking as I'm saying this. There's no place like home. I can hear that fucking dog. Can you hear the dog? I'll be goddamned if that isn't a Yorkie too. I used to have a long-haired Chihuahua. I mourned it 2 days ago. I remember my long-haired Chihuahua. That's not a Chihuahua. That's a fucking Yorkie. Ain't no Pomeranian. I know my little apple-headed friends. They don't sound like that. That's a Yorkie. Yeah. There's no place like home. You long for home, yet when you go home, you feel imbalanced still because there's no union of the two in the present. You keep on wondering what the key is. What's the key? Page of Wands in the reverse. There is a lack of communication, passionate communication. You're feeling like imbalanced also because there's a lack of communication. You can't, this deep inner knowing is coming about because you're not getting that passionate communication that you normally would. You're coming into balance because there's space in between you and this person who would normally be coming in with that passionate communication in the present. You're actually feeling like you're able to connect with yourself. But there's also why the union of the two isn't happening, because there's no passionate communication happening. Page of Wands. Passionate communication. Somebody isn't being jovial with that. They aren't coming through with that like they used to. Bluebirds signify happiness, yes. The messages, do you see the love letter? The love letter. The love letter isn't coming. So in the past you had deep inner knowing. Here you might not feel so much in the present. But there is, I will say, there is a sense of monetary satisfaction for you. Not necessarily monetary satisfaction. Always pentacles have to do with monetary satisfaction, of course. Yet at the same time, they also have to do with our connectedness with the earth. Our ability to be with at union with the earth. So you're reaping inspiration from this. That is a part of your deep inner knowing.
Is it with the space that you are being afforded through this lack of passionate communication? You're also able to take stock of the creative energy and the power of the connectedness with the earth. If that was there in the past during Taurus season, you're able to connect with your baser human instinct, and it's creating a sense of wealth for you. Doesn't necessarily have to be monetary, although I am seeing it as such. Pearls of wisdom. Pearls of wisdom. Do you see the strand of pearls? I'm seeing pearls of wisdom here also. Pearls of wisdom, excuse me. Somebody doesn't want to talk about it. Somebody doesn't want to talk about how they profited off of this. In the present, they profited off of their deep inner knowing. Excuse me. They profited off of the inspiration and the deep inner knowing that they gleaned from this. A ring, the ring, the ring, the ringing, the ringing. It was yours, it was yours, it was yours. I'm hearing over here, it was yours. It was all yours. It was always yours. It was your birthright. It was your birthright. It was always yours. It was always yours. In the future for you, Libra, the lovers. Oh, goddamn. If you don't do this to me every time. The lovers, Gemini energy, Gemini season or choice in between two lovers or situation where you have to choose in between a lover or a choice in love or a choice to proceed with love versus something else that is near and dear to your heart. There's a letter here. I'm also drawn to. There's a message here. Do you see? It is being brought. It is being delivered by air. Could be over the airwaves. Which I mean, basically, let's face it, unless you know you're doing snail mail, which is still by air. In most circumstances, you're looking at communication online, but all communication really is on, through the air these days. There's communication that is being brought here that is helping you to decide with love. But it's implicit that you need to let your guard down. You've been unreachable. You've been unreachable. You haven't seen this. You're going to see it in the future. You've missed it. You've missed the opportunity, and you're going to realize you've missed the opportunity. Huh. Oh, goddamn. You are unreachable in the present. You're unreachable in the present. Shaky foundations in the past, unreachable in the present. The lovers in the future. With that communication, you've been unreachable. You didn't even realize. You didn't even realize somebody was communicating with you. That they were your beloved, I'm hearing. They were your beloved. You had no clue. Look at how this man is looking at this woman. Like she is everything. Makes you feel warm in and out of the cold, the spark of the divine. Makes you feel unstable, makes you question your belief system. But everything all of a sudden makes complete sense because the moon is in the reverse. Cancerian energy, Gemini, Cancer, cusp. This is going to happen during the June 21st time period. Stake my life on it. June 21st. Confusion clearing. There's confusion clearing here about a choice in love, or about choices that you did not realize, you weren't aware that you had an option that is now afforded to you. And here's a minuet, or a minute. There was a minute in time where you knew, and you had a hunch. And it'll only make sense when you go back and you actually see this. You'll only see this when it becomes apparent to you through that message that you're not aware of because you were unreachable, that you're going to find during Gemini Cancer cusp season. It's going to take you until June to actually see this. You could also be coming out of a dreamlike state, or you could find this in a dream. You could be communicated to through a dreamlike state meditation. Normally I would just say a dream because of the moon, but I'm saying dreamlike state. It's coming out of my mouth, which means it should be so. But it's going to bring you out of the cold. It's going to bring you a warmth that you've never known. That matchstick of the divine. And you're going to feel crazy. You're going to feel unstable. You're not going to believe it to be true. Do you see how it's all interconnected, yes? Do you believe it to be true? So the whale. Do you believe it to be true? Could also be during just Gemini season, because in between this King of Coins in the present, we have the moon, which is Cancerian energy. In between Taurus and Cancer is Gemini. It fades in and out. Fade in, fade out, fade in, fade out. You see it, then it goes, and you see it, then it goes. This person comes and goes. They might feel that they inconvenience you. There's no place like home. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. Toto, I'm sorry. I'm just getting it. It's terrible, but it's true. This is how I work. It's all songs, don't you know? Don't you know I'm the song that no one sings? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Toto is the name of the dog in the Wizard of Oz. It's all connected. It's fine. If you don't believe it, it's okay. We speak in riddles. Eight of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, you're coming out of that self-imposed prison. Didn't I say so? With the Seven of Wands and the Five of Coins in the reverse in the present, where all of a sudden you're like, you know, you were unreachable, but then you realize that because you were so unreachable for so long, you were keeping yourself in the cold. So you decide to take yourself and bring yourself in out of the cold. Now all of a sudden the Eight of Swords comes out, pops out in the reverse. You're feeling unstable. This is not something that you're used to. You're not used to putting yourself out there like that. Yet you know that it's been a mental prison for you. A self-imposed mental prison. So why would you continue to do that? Bang your head against the wall, see if it still hurts? Yeah? Just saying. I don't know. And it's going to take that for you to have union. The union that you're not in the present. You have to overcome something in your mind. There's something in your mind that keeps you in that prison, that keeps you from being in that union. This is not supposed to be a love read, honey. And really helps you to connect with yourself and be fair with yourself. This is justice, equilibrium. This is you, Queen of Swords. This is you, justice, equilibrium, finding the key. Finding the key. Is that the key to your home? That there's no place like? I think so. Yeah? There's no place like home? I think I should caption this reading that there's no place like home. The rapey slippers. There's a heart linked to that, right? The heart space has to do with home. Somebody that feels like home to you. To come home to yourself and connect with yourself and find that self-love, you're already like there. You already instinctually know. You instinctually know. There was a second. There's justice and equilibrium and fairness that has to happen here in order for that union to happen, that union to not happen. Because, like, dude, I have justice in the past, 2 of Cups in the present, in the reverse, and then Queen of Swords in the upright. And your little dog, too, in the future. So you can only do yourself justice by connecting with yourself, otherwise this union will never happen. You really, really have to be fair with yourself and connect with yourselves and understand equilibrium and fairness and your own personal truth before you can have that union. Or you are sentencing yourself to a mental prison that you will be trapped in forever. There is no confusion here. Letting your guard down. Letting your guard down. You have to let your guard down. This passionate communication in the present is not happening because you're not letting your guard down. You're not allowing free-flowing influx of communication in for that to happen. That union during the present, it's not happening because you don't have your guard down. You're not doing yourself justice. You feel unstable. Okay. You might be telling yourself you're crazy every time that you see something that might otherwise make sense to other people. You might actually be saying, oh yeah, no. That doesn't mean that. This is totally nuts. Oh, that's just a coincidence. Confirmation bias here, blah, 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 there. You're literally telling yourself in the present that this doesn't make sense. This doesn't mean what I think it means. I'm crazy. This isn't this and this isn't that. I'm unstable if I believe this, or I'm unstable if I go for this, blah, blah, blah. I need to remain unreachable. I will bring myself out of the cold, but only if I can prove myself, It's like the reverse of confirmation bias in a weird way. And you're preventing yourself from being in union, and you're preventing people from having passionate communication towards you. It's protectorate energy, but there's no confusion here. You're not allowing the communication to come in. And once you do allow the communication to come in, the communication lifts. And the self-imposed prison lifts. And all of a sudden you experience freedom, and you're doing yourself justice, and you have become somebody who is in tune with their inner truth. And as a Libran, your inner truth is to love yourself, but also to love others unabounding. You're underselling yourself because you have your guard up. And once you let your guard down in the future, what do we have happen? Tell me, what do we have happen? Man, I miss reading cards. I miss this so bad. It's like butter, It is. I don't want to hear that song right now. I don't want to hear that song right now. Did you hear that? They want me to tell you a song. I'm not going to do the song. I'm not going to say the things because there's a Libran who helped write that song. I'm not going to talk about that song anymore. No. Do you believe that it's something that you can't have, though? I'll just paraphrase. I don't believe that you are, you don't believe that you can have this. It's like something that other people can have, but you can't. This was not supposed to be love read. So even though you let your guard down, do you know what happens when you let your guard down? This might be actually the reason why in the past you put your guard up. Choice indigestion. I'm dealing with it right now, moving to a new city, choice indigestion. Sitting at a crossroads, having to make a choice, yet being blindfolded and not being able to make a choice because you cannot see the forest for the trees. Yeah. Not understanding the consequences or implications of making either choice, and so deciding to sit at an impasse or at the fork in the road and not choosing any direction. It says your card, by the way. Libran card, 2 of Swords. The unattainable. You don't believe that this is something that you can have. It's like something that you could always just look at from afar, but you could never touch. Or something that if you had the blindfold over your head, you couldn't see it, but you could feel it. You could hear it, but you could not touch it. You'd always keep your guard up. You always had to have the swords in front of you. There's no place like home. What is home to you? What feels like home to you? By the way, I'm not pulling songs anymore for my general reads. The reason being is because every time I have 100 cards in that deck, and you know what, I always pull the same amount of cards, the same type of cards. So I'm gonna get another deck, and I'm gonna channel, and I'm going to get more songs in that deck, so that I have 200 songs in that deck, so that it can't possibly be the same songs every effing time. I will still use them for the love read. I understand this has kind of become a love read, but I think this is more about connectedness with yourself. I think there's an inner dialogue here that needs to happen before you can go reaching for another. There's reluctance. It's like you go for the obvious options, because the obvious options take less hesitancy. They don't seem to take as much work. And Librans are known for their laziness. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be an asshole. I'm a very honest human being. I'm very blunt. I'm an Aries rising, so I can be very blunt, and Librans are known for their laziness. They are. Also Capricorns, I'm extremely efficient. Librans are known for their laziness. Can be often mistaken as efficiency. But I think it's more because you don't want to hurt people. You don't want to hurt other people. I feel like you've been hurt through a choice. You were chosen. You weren't chosen. I was going to say you were chosen against. You were the option that wasn't chosen. So it's easy for you to go for the obvious choice, because when you go for the obvious choice, people aren't hurt as much. It doesn't hurt as many people's feelings. But if you really let your guard down, then you actually discovered what it was you truly wanted and what was your inner truth. What would you really choose? What is the overall energy here? Because I gotta get moving. There's no place like home. And I just had my ear pop, which is fantastic, except I don't think it actually popped. This one. Happy home life, the ultimate in wish fulfillment in an emotional sense. This is what it's all about for you. All you want in life is to be happy. Don't you know that you manufacture your own happiness, though? You are the agent of your own joy. You just have to understand what is the right and just way to go about exacting who you choose to share that with. Right? I think in the past you've had issues with choosing the wrong people to share that with. You might have had people take advantage of you. Or even potentially attempt to convince you that you were unstable in some way, which made you feel like overcompensating. There's nothing 100 men or more would ever do, less the rains down in Africa. Let's clarify, shall we? I think this is a pretty straightforward reading, don't you? I kind of feel like it is. I keep on looking at the clock on my stove, and I keep on looking at the clock here, and all that stuff, excuse me, but Libra, this was a pretty good one. There really is no place like home, I have to say, because this was like coming home to my deck of cards, and I haven't read a spread like this in a long time where it was just so cohesive. It is quite beautiful. You've said that about somebody, but they were quite beautiful or quite lovely. You prayed on this, you prayed on this, you prayed on it, you've prayed on it, you prayed. You either prayed for it or you prayed about it for answers. This person has too. This person has too. Okay. This matchstick of the divine. I must say, it's really hard to do this reading for my Libran folks. It always is. Cool thing is that once I get rolling, I totally forget that I'm completely bonkers over this one Libra person that I will never ever have a chance with in a million years, that I've never actually spoken to in real life, and that is just the unattainable. Yeah. Wow. Cosmic. All right, let's do it. Oh, I was gonna say, in the past, we had victory and homecoming with the Six of Wands. Yeah. You were looking towards that. You had shaky foundations at home. You felt like you needed to be home, and that would resolve everything. You were looking for a victorious, triumphant homecoming, and you thought that would resolve any firm foundations that were shook on the home front or with a relationship at home that was having problems. This matchstick of the divine, this Ace of Wands, this inspiration that came in, what is it? It was a choice that you were forced to make in love. You were forced to make a decision in love. Mind you, I don't normally read these in reverse when I'm going to today, because I'm rolling with it. There was no celebration. You made a choice in love and chose not to meet up and partake in celebration with somebody during Aries Leo. Sorry, I don't know why I wanted to say Aries Leo cusp, but what I really meant to say was Aries Taurus cusp. The choice was evident because you did not meet up to celebrate with someone. It caused you to go inward and re-establish or re-evaluate your beliefs and your philosophies on something. It put you in a sense of imprisonment, put you in a mental prison. You were stuck in your head about it, that's why. You didn't know which way was up and which way was down. You felt you were falling on your swords. You were confused about the situation. You didn't want to deal with it. You were in a mental prison. You sought balance. You felt that this was going to destroy your legacy. You felt this was going to destroy your legacy, so you decided to seek balance, truth, and justice, and equilibrium for yourself. We have a flipper here, by the way. I'm going across our past. Yeah. But you found yourself knocked off equilibrium. You didn't find yourself balanced. You knew there was something that was not fair about the situation. Your deep inner knowing was that there was something that was not fair about the situation. You knew it wasn't your truth. It wasn't your truth to put yourself in that self-imposed prison. We're finishing off that line. You were enraged over it, or somebody else was. Leo. We have Leo. And Taurus, I said Taurus, Leo. You were angered at God. You were angered at God about something. Strengthen the Hierophant. You were angered at God or about your philosophies, your traditionalist beliefs. That was your truth. Your deep inner knowing was that there was something. You couldn't contain your passions about something. You were angered at God. You were angry at God. This Earth Mother stirred nostalgia in you. They reminded you of something that had to do with your childhood, with a long cherished childhood wish, goal, or dream. They reminded you of the wonderment of childhood, the connectedness with the earth, with the creativity, the stirrings of joy, and a long cherished childhood goal, connected with a groundedness and bounded. You were bound. There's something about being bound to the baser human instinct here. That's also connected with the earth. Sorry. I have to move faster than this, or otherwise I'm going to have to pause and I'm not going to get this done on time for you guys. And you're going to have like a video that's chopped into 3 pieces. I'm sorry. Okay. Bound to the earth, bound to the human baser instincts. Nostalgia. You were angry at God because this reminded you of something that had to do with nostalgia, but also had to do with creativity. Also had to do with the connectedness with the earth. Something primitive. Something primitive that started within you. In the present, why did you realize all of a sudden that you were unreachable and had to bring yourself in out of the cold? What was your invitation inspired by other than this Ace of Wands? Tell us more. Tell us more. Tell us more. I might have to break in like 2 minutes here because I gotta go. Illumination, the sun, a wish, a long cherished wish in gold. This is the yes card in the tarot. Leo. 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 During Leo season? It's not Leo season, no. What's the next fire sign coming up is Aries. No, it's Sagittarius. Does Sagittarius bring something to light for you? Did a Sagittarius shed something to light for you, like a smack in the face? Like, get a hold of yourself, man. Somebody shed light on it for you that you were completely unreachable. Or during this time, there's going to be something illuminated for you that's going to literally help you to realize that you've been unreachable. And that you need to bring yourself in from out of the cold because you have shut yourself off. You've shut yourself off from all sources of light. You know, when we shut ourselves off from all of the dark, we also shut ourselves off from the light, right? You cannot hide yourself from the dark and not from the light as well. Right? I think that's what it's saying. I gotta stop in like 1 minute here. Tell me more. Tell me more. You're lying to yourself. You were lying to yourself the entire time. You knew it. You knew that it was out there. You knew that your warmth was there. And you stood still. You're standing still right now. You're ignoring this. You're turning a blind eye to this right now. Piscean energy. You're not ready to accept it. You're not ready to accept your truth right now. And that's okay. I'm going to pause this right now just so that we're all clear and so that there is complete and utter transparency. This is the card on the bottom of the deck. When I come back and I hit this button again, I'll show you the card on the bottom of the deck so you know that I'm not pulling any tricks here, okay? I gotta go talk to one of my agents and then I'll be back. Okay, bye. Okay, hi. Hey, we're back. And just so that you're aware, for a full transparency, we still where I told you we'd be, Libra. Okay. Did all my stuff that I needed to do. And we are clarifying on the present line with the King of Pentacles. So this is the part where we were talking about the lack of stability in the home. Because there's no place like home. There was stagnancy. There's stagnancy at the present. Standstill. There's time. You're taking your time. You're biding your time. Do you see the clock there? Time has to do with this. It's like time will tell. I'm hearing time will tell. Time will tell. Time will tell. Yeah, time will tell. Knight of Pentacles. There might have been a situation or a specific thing during Virgo season in particular where time would tell, where you said to yourself, time will tell. If I wait long enough, because this is a very slow moving night, where you decided that you were going to sit in energy of just kind of a wait and see moment. Feeling instability, deciding to turn within. Trying to evaluate things from a different perspective. And trying to find self-love. But also saying to yourself that time would tell. And that you would kind of move slowly in a forward movement towards something. Not necessarily reluctantly, but somewhat in a sense of just, it's forward movement, but it's a movement that's very deliberate, slow movement, slow moving, you know? Huh. Because you are feeling instability in your home space. And so it's like you want to have forward progress, yet at the same time, you want to gain that sense of groundedness within yourself again, that sense of security within yourself again. And so that time, that sense of time is so important to you, that you're okay with taking your time. You know how we have the Nine of Wands in your, we have the Nine of Wands in the future. It seems that you're already embodying that in the present. You are, son, sis, you are already. That's why you aren't going for union at present. You're reticent to let your guard down. You're slowly letting your guard down. But because you're slowly letting your guard down doesn't necessarily mean that you're ready to embark on a journey with some specific individual, or even any individual. Seems to be. Sorry. It's always hard jumping back into a read when you've had to pause it. That's why I don't typically, and that's why I'm such a pain in the ass reader and you never get readings on time, because I don't like to do them segmented like that. I don't like to pause and have to come back to them after all this. Yeah. You're not sitting in your power right now. You feel that if you were forced in a situation where there be union, that you might act haughtily, that you might lose your temper, that there might be conflict, that you may not necessarily, this is Aries energy, the Emperor in reverse. You might be in the present deflecting away from meeting up with somebody who is an Aries individual, or somebody with Aries in their chart. But you're letting down your guard after a conflict with an Aries, or a conflict with an individual, trying to stave off communication of a passionate nature. Oh, yes, that's exactly it. It flipped and it went face down. Stave off conflict and communication of a conflictuous nature with an Aries individual. You're not going into union with somebody because you feel like it's going to create conflict in between you and an Aries, or in the present, if you do go into union with somebody, or you meet up with, like the Two of Cups is just meeting up with somebody, really. It's like a date card, you know what I mean? But like having communication with somebody, passionate communication with somebody, might actually mean conflict with somebody else with fire in their chart, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo. But I'm seeing more Aries. You might be avoiding meeting up with somebody who has Aries in their chart because you know that it means conflict, conflicting minds meeting, or that there might be an argument in between the two of you, or you're blocking off argumentative communication in between you and an Aries individual by refusing to meet with this person, even though you're trying to let your guard down. You know that if you let your guard down, that this person might be trying to take advantage of you. I'm also noticing here the devil underfoot. The devil underfoot. This Aries individual might have a Capricorn under their foot, or they might be trying to control a Capricorn, or somebody with Capricorn in their chart, or control a situation where Capricorn is involved. In the reverse, it means that they don't have control right now. It's because you're letting your guard down, moving slowly towards your own inner centeredness and your own stability. There's a call with that King of Pentacles for you to connect with yourself and connect with your home space and what really feels like home to you. With your self-love, so that you can have union with somebody that is free of conflict, a place of peace, a place of peace, a place of peace. You're looking for a place of peace, and that is home to you. Home to you is a place of peace. How many do we have here? Oh, 3. There's our Aries individual again, or the horned one. This could be an Aries, Leo, or a Capricorn, Taurus as well. That's what I view it as. Some readers will not classically view it as that many signs. They'll just say, they'll call it a day at Aries because it is the Queen of Wands. However, look at, it's a horned cloven foot individual. So this can also be considered the other woman. However, it is a passionate, feminine energy that exudes confidence, speaks passionately on a number of subjects, is not afraid of conflict, is like somebody who is wild and stands in their power. It's inspired action in you to move towards your value, to see your value, perhaps. You may feel at times when you communicate with this individual, or you receive communication from this individual, that you are skating on thin ice. It's interesting here, we have the Page of Wands in the reverse in our main line, but in our clarifying line, when we move towards our 9 of Pentacles, that you have this in the upright, which indicates to me 2 different energies. They're the third party. This Queen of Wands is a different queen than you're used to. They're a different energy. You're moving out of an Aries energy who was creating unrest for you into another energy that creates peace for you. Even though they're passionate, even though they're rickety in their communication, you never quite know what their motives are. And you always feel as if unsure of their communication, implicit by the stilts, etc., etc. This person with their confidence is somebody who will lead to your fulfillment when it comes to creativity, when it comes to your connectedness with earthbound energy, with your prosperity. It's something that you're trying to create in the earth world. And then that's there. Without delay. Acting without delay. This might have to do with their motivation towards you and why they feel the need to passionately communicate with you. Is because they've thought long and hard about options that they've had, and they can no longer sit in contemplative energy. They see the pearls of wisdom that you have spun. They see your inspiration, your connectedness with the earth. They can't help themselves but know not to move without delay. Interestingly enough, I always feel like the 2 of Wands and the 3 of Wands are interchangeable in that regard. Like they're both like a move without delay. I don't know why. I just always have. And I've been reading tarot cards for, I'm going to be 38 in, 2 months now? So that would mean I've been reading tarot cards for 25 years. in 2 months. No, 23 years and 25 months. 23 years. And I've always felt that the 2 and the 3 are interchangeable in the reverse without delay. This person acts impulsively and passionately on their inspiration. They see something. They see the wisdom. They see the pearls of wisdom. And they see that there's something greater that is a span of the divine, that is connected with the earth, that is of molten lava. Because I have fire here so heavily, just through this whole half of the present, connected with the earth at the end here. It's like lava. It's molten lava. They know. There's a certainty for them, almost as if somebody who's trained to walk on stilts, right? You never see somebody walking on stilts who's unsure of themselves. They're quite confident in what they do, right? Okay. Future line in this lovers. Tell us about this decision in love. Let's see about this communication. It's something we know that you were unreachable prior, and all of a sudden it's going to come to light for you because we have that sun card up there too. And it's something that you have been hiding yourself from, your truth. You've been lying to yourself about, that's way too many. Card vomit. I don't take that many. Let's see. It's always really hard to settle back into reading after you've not been. So, you're not, this is another Aries card. Somebody has Aries in their chart. Somebody has Aries in their chart, Libra. So one of your choices in love is Libra. Or sorry, well, I guess maybe they do have Libra in their chart somewhere. But this individual, just by grand design of the accident that is my blah, blah, blah. But this person that you're, one of the people that you're choosing in between has Aries in their chart. Again, I had talked about how you might default to somebody who is of certain variety because it's implicit of the fact that you might not be taking risk. It might be the easy road, the high road, to always choose a certain individual. One of your choices is somebody where you don't necessarily have to explain why you're choosing XYZ individual. That's that Fool in the reverse, not having to take a risk. It's safe. You know it's safe because XYZ, right? That's one of the choices. And that's actually what's coming to light for you. That's where your awareness is coming in the future. Could also be in the future again, where we have Aries, Gemini, Cancer. Taurus is missing. Taurus season in particular, where you're going to make this choice of a romantic nature. Could be moving backwards towards Pisces season. That's too many cards as well. And we flip them too. What else? Tell us more. That's also too many. That one's stuck on the board. This one's stuck on the board. 4 in the reverse. Your other choice is one that you had in the past was divinely guided, but you were too reluctant to look at because you had other options and you were sick of having options. You might be somebody who always has options. Aries. Yeah, you can hear Here are my pants. I tucked my chair in a little too far. You might have always been somebody who always had too many choices. Didn't I say before about choice indigestion? I think I did. I think I had talked about choice indigestion. I think that you've had choice indigestion, and so because you've always had choice indigestion, always had so many cups that you could choose from, the cup from the divine had been the one that you tossed out. It was the one with the wine in it, and you tossed it out. Guess what? No longer. So one of the other choices that you have here might actually be a gift from the universe that you're not actually aware is a gift from the universe, because you're so used to having these default options at your beck and call that you've always been like, oh, well, I have these cups behind me. I don't really need this one with this wine in it. I can have any drink I want. And so, but now you've realized that the cup from the divine, the choice that is the one of a kind, is something that you've tossed in the past, or that you've brushed aside in the past, or been reluctant to choose in the past. So you can either choose not to take a risk, or you can choose to take a risk, and you can choose to move forward with something that you've always brushed aside or been dismissive of. And that's actually something that you're embracing moving forward. Wow, I am sick. I feel like breathing underwater. The song Breathing Underwater by Metric. It's like I'm breathing underwater. Is this life? It feels like I've submerged myself in water just on this side. I hope I don't get a fucking ear infection. That would suck. That would really suck. Well, we're not taking. Okay, so just so you know, for full disclosure, I do have a flipper here. I'm taking the flipper, and I'm not taking this 8,000 cards that dropped on the board. Yeah, didn't I say choices? Choices. Confusion. You have confusion lifting. You will be making a choice. You're divinely guided to make this choice. You're divinely guided to make this choice. What is the choice that you're making? Or the sign that helps you to choose? What is it that helps you moving forward? Did I have something flip? Tell me. I will also say this is unprecedented. I've never read this deck in the reverse. Ever. Ever. In fact, when I opened this deck, there was a message that I heard that said, you will not read this deck in reverse. Libra, you're the only sign that I've ever read this deck in reverse for. This is the only time I've ever read this in the reverse. And I probably will never read this deck in the reverse again. What do I have? You're going to call it quits with someone as a result. The confusion is that something has to end. You're putting an end to something during Scorpio season, or with a Scorpio, or somebody with Scorpio heavily in their chart. But you realize that something has to end in order for you to move forward, to free yourself of a mental prison of sorts. You're done with it. You're moving forward. There's transformation at hand. Transformation underfoot. There's 2 Scorpio cards there. Scorpio and Aries. You have so much Aries here. Freeing yourself of the mental prison. Patience. You have to have patience with yourself while you're moving through this. Patience with yourself. Your truth is that you need to temper your emotions. You need to temper your responses. That you need to have equilibrium and balance in your life. That everything cannot be grandeur. That everything cannot be plainness. That everything cannot be hot or cold. But also that you do need to, you can't rush into things. Only fools rush in. Sagittarius, or because I just said that, could be a Sagittarius, Capricorn, Cosper, or Capricorn. Sagittarius season. This is during Sagittarius season, isn't it? Where you make that decision to say no more. No more to certain old adages or old outdated ways of thinking. I'm gonna pop my ear. This is really bothering me. I really hope I'm not getting an ear infection because that would really suck. I haven't had one of those since I was a kid and I got so sick. I had no balance. Which is interesting since I'm saying that. I lost my balance. I had an ear infection so bad I couldn't stand up. Yeah, you're walking away from something. You're choosing to walk away from something that would have normally been of emotional fulfillment in order to pursue a 9 of Cups, which is an ultimate wish fulfillment in an emotional sense. Because it's your truth with this Queen of Swords. It's who you really are. And it's fair to you. And you've kept yourself locked in a mental prison, a self-imposed mental prison for so long. Sorry. It's getting warm in here. I'm also making cookies. So, well, I'm preheating the oven to make cookies. Sorry. So I guess that might also help. I've lost hearing. I've lost my hearing in this year. Sorry, I'm going deaf in this year. So this is really not cool. I just saw the Devil card, temptation. You might be tempted to go back to old things because they're easier for you. But you know that you have a truth. The Moon card stuck in my hand. There's fear. You have options. You have options. Remind yourself that you have options. Be fair to yourself. Remind yourself that you have options. Because what we're seeing here is we're seeing you have let your guard down. Yeah, I'm feeling sicker as the night goes on. I'm sorry. You have options. You might have in the past been defensive because of all of the options, maybe an excess of options. And you might be tempted to go back into an energy of putting your guard up. Yet, in an effort to be fair to yourself, you're letting your guard down and you're allowing the options to pour in. So instead of moving towards the 9, you move towards the 7. You explore those options. You even might be taking time away from work. Going back to reevaluate the seeds that you have sown of a professional nature rather than putting your nose to the grindstone. There's reevaluation happening. Total reevaluation. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. What else? I keep getting breathing underwater. It's like breathing underwater. That's that metric song. Because I'm breathing underwater. Oh, hi. it's only 2, and we have the 2 of Swords here, so we'll take them. The reason that you're sitting in this 2 of Swords energy, I don't want to make a choice. I will not move forward. I'm sitting at an impasse. I am putting my blindfold on and I'm crossing my hands in front of me and sitting down and doing nothing. The reason that you're doing this is because you're afraid of heartbreak. You're afraid you're going to end up back in a place with somebody who's overpowering, who is a fire that burns instead of warms. Aries energy, classically a Rita King of Wands is an Aries energy. You have so much Aries here. You know, my mother always said, we all have divine counterparts, right? Earth and water makes mud. Air burns, fire can only burn because of air. Those kinds of things. But remember that water consumes and destroys the very structure of Earth. And fire, it combusts oxygen. It burns oxygen, right? So when you get a 3 of Swords with a King of Wands, and it's like that's the reason why we have our 2 of Swords here. It's like, yeah, it makes complete sense. Of course you don't want to move forward because all that you can see as an outcome for yourself is heartbreak and getting burned over again. Of course, it's happened before. Why wouldn't it happen again? It's a learned pattern. I think it's important for you to understand that the need for courage is here. And that there's always a possibility of being burned over and over again, but at the same time, we can't have new possibilities and we can't have new outcomes befall us if we don't actually allow them to come to fruition, right? It's true. It's totally true. You know, if we sit there with our swords in front of us and we blindfold ourselves, you are getting 0 outcome. It's true. You're getting 0 outcome. So you do nothing, you get 0. You do something, of course, there's the opportunity to have heartbreak and to be burned again. Or you could end up having the ability to be with somebody who's confident and a leader and all those wonderful things as well. I think there is a difference absolutely in between the fire that burns and the fire that warms. I talk about that a lot when I talk about Aries energy. I'm consistently reminded of that as somebody with that as my rising sign. How do I occur to others in my environment as a confident person, as a leader who's leading with a firm hand, and as a ruler who is not leading out of fear, rather leading with fear, and also as somebody who nurtures and nourishes and warms rather than burns, right? Luckily for me, I have everything in my chart except for air. Well, I have air in like one minuscule part of my chart. It's like in my 7th house. Libra is my 7th house. But I have cardinal energy in all of my other major placements. And Aries is my rising sign. And Earth is my sun sign. And it's a challenge, but it's a consistent reminder here that with the 2 of Swords that you know, if you sit there in an impasse forever, you will experience heartbreak. Because the ultimate heartbreak is to never experience warmth at all. Right? Yeah. All right. Overall energy. Isn't it interesting how this happens? Because the overall energy in this deck was this 10 of Cups, and the overall energy in this deck that I normally don't read in the reverse, but I'm doing it for you in my debut reading here in my new place, is the 10 of Cups. Yet it's in the reverse. Because you're sitting in a 2 of Swords at the end of all of this. You could go either way. You're sitting at a fork in the road and you're choosing to blindfold yourself and do nothing. So it's really up to you, and I think a lot of tarot readers are really good about reminding people that you can have either. You can have it either way. You can have it either way. You can have it either way. The point is it's up to you to choose. It's up to you to choose which you will do, which you will have. But you cannot continuously remain unreachable. You cannot protect yourself and be on guard forever, because that puts you at 0. And yes, all possibilities are available to you when you have nothing. Yet at the same time, you do have to build on that, or you still remain here instead of here. So it's your bus to drive, baby. Which one do you want? Which one do you want? Okay, cool. All right, let's get you some no bullshit advice. Let's get you an affirmation. Let's get you some magnetic poetry, and let's send you on your happy way. All right? Because I gotta get going. I got things to do. I got cookies to bake. Yeah. And I gotta pop my ear, because this is driving me nuts. Being able to hear myself talk. It's really messing with me. Breathing underwater. Where is that from? Like, I know the song. But still. No. Okay. Well, you saw it happen right here on camera, folks. I'm not going to shuffle anymore because we have 3 on the board. Oh my God, that's going to drive me nuts. That sound's going to drive me nuts. Okay. So we have, you're giving too many fucks. Give 0. Ah. Yeah, you care too much. You're overthinking everything. You're all up in your head. Okay, now what? Stop sleeping so damn much. Are you sleeping too much? You might be. Wake up. You're missing some cool shit. And then, don't fucking force it. I don't see anybody forcing anything here except for default realities that they're consistently doing the broken record loop on. But allow that shit to come to you. You don't let anything come to you. We already know that. We already talked about that. So it's time to open the gates and allow things to come to you. Yes? Maybe. I don't know. Excuse me for a second. There, that's better. That makes me so much happier already. You know, it's these things that make us real, that make us endearing as readers. You'll just have to appreciate that or just not watch. Okay, what's your affirmation, Libra? Sun, moon, rising Venus. Sun, moon.
Yeah, you are. I'm awesome. Right? And because you're awesome, why wouldn't you expect that you would attract somebody awesome into your life? And that you also wouldn't be able to discern the difference in between that. Somebody who's awesome and somebody who's bullshit. Hey? I think so. I don't know. Just saying. Dare I say it? There, I said it. Okay, let's get you some magnetic poetry and send you on your way. Okay, for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do we got for you? Oh. Oh. 2 words only. That's what I got for you. I know that sounds like a ripoff or looks like a ripoff and might not make any sense to you. But that's for you. Okay? Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time so much. You have no clue. I don't do this for any other reason but for you. Well, that's not true. I do it for my sanity. But thanks for watching, Libra. I'll be doing a love read a little bit later on in the month. This wasn't supposed to be a love reading, you know, but it just ended up panning out that way with what fell. So, toodaloo, we'll see you when we see you. Be well. Bye. And here's what we got. Look at that magic right there. Oh my God. And this, all of this stuff. Bye.